Hello and welcome to Star Wars Sunday. Yes, I know it's Monday, but this segment of my season reviews channel is called Star Wars Sunday, so why change it? The reason that this video is going up on Monday is because we've had Star Wars Celebration this past weekend, and instead of reviewing a book or some TV show, or instead of reviewing something that is, a medium of Star Wars, I'm going to be kind of reviewing the weekend and Star Wars Celebration. So, the reason this is coming out on Monday is because Star Wars Celebration went from Thursday to Sunday, and I didn't want to skip anything. I didn't want to presume that Sunday had nothing, or that I didn't want to talk about anything that happened on Sunday. This is why I'm doing this on Monday. Just clearing that up. So yeah, this is a Star Wars Celebration kind of recap and review. Just my thoughts on some of the things that happened during Celebration. Not everything, just some of it. With that being said, let's get into it. So let's get started with the 40 years of Star Wars panel. First off, Warwick Davis moderating the whole panel. Warwick Davis did a lot this weekend, and he's good, man. This guy is just really good at so many things because he has a great sense of humor. He knows a lot about Star Wars, and he always talks about Wicket and his characters in the Star Wars universe, how they could be more important than they probably are, but it's so much fun to see him just having fun with what he does and having fun with all of the guests that we had on the panel. But that panel, man, they had a bunch of people. Kathleen Kennedy always, she came to Star Wars Celebration like she does all the time. She is our Lord and Savior, in my opinion, because without her, I don't know if Star Wars would be as good as it is now. It's just the best time ever to be a Star Wars fan, and she's just amazing. And what she does for all of Star Wars, I know I don't have an exact job description, but her being the president of Lucasfilm just is so good, and I think she's doing an amazing job. She was great on the panel. I like that they brought out George Lucas. Yes, the man himself. I had a feeling that they would bring him out. I mean, how could you do a 40 years of Star Wars panel without bringing out, the originals, at least everybody that you can get with George Lucas. Mark Hamill came out, obviously Harrison Ford, Peter Mayhew, everybody came out. Unfortunately, Carrie wasn't, is not with us anymore, but still that panel was so amazing, and they did an amazing video tribute to Carrie. It was so good, and her daughter was just amazing. She did I guess you'd call it an impersonation of her mother, doing the whole "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope" speech, and she did it beautifully. I was moved almost to tears. Water's eyes, tears almost coming out. But man, that was so good. And the best thing about that, in my opinion, is that you had people. The best thing was that you had John Williams. John Williams come out. They had a curtain, and once the tribute to Carrie Fisher was over, they pulled back the curtain, and there was John Williams with the Orlando Philharmonic Orchestra, and it was amazing. I think watching the live stream, everybody there was just it sounded like everybody just went wild, and I was like, oh man, I started clapping in my room watching the live stream. And just to have John Williams, and even George Lucas himself introduced John Williams, and said that he was the secret sauce of Star Wars, and that is so true. And it was such a delight to see John Williams perform live, even though it was, I was on the live stream. It was just such an amazing thing to see him and that orchestra perform the main theme of Star Wars. They performed Leia's theme, which I thought was amazing. I mean, perfectly fitting for right after the tribute to Carrie Fisher. And then he also did the Imperial March. It's so great. I wish he would have done literally every piece of Star Wars music that he's ever done, but that would take hours upon hours upon hours. And so I know that they got in what probably everybody loves the most. You know, the main theme, Leia's theme, for Carrie and the Imperial March, and it was just such an amazing panel. Not a lot happened after that on Thursday. There was, I think, a couple more panels. One was the animated Origins panel, which was really cool. It had Dave Filoni, Pablo Hidalgo come out, and they pretty much talked about how a lot of the characters from the animated series of the Clone Wars and Rebels, how they came about. Dave Filoni talked a lot about how Ahsoka came about, and they brought out Ashley Eckstein, and it was a very good panel for showing us. They showed us a bunch of concept art. At least they showed them in that first day on Thursday. In that panel, at least when they would show pictures, the live stream wasn't getting the pictures, and so I didn't see a lot of those pictures. But from what I gathered, they showed like pictures of early drafts of or early concept art for Ahsoka, and everything that they said was really cool. Like, you can obviously tell that Dave Filoni loves the character of Ahsoka Tano, and I mean, he had like that panel was so cool because he brought out Ashley Eckstein, and then they just talked a lot about how Ahsoka progresses throughout not only the Clone Wars but throughout Rebels too, and maybe she's alive. Hopefully, she's alive. You know, one of the cool things that I found, I didn't find it myself, but I saw online was that on, I think it was Friday. Yeah, it was on Friday. He had an Ahsoka Lives shirt on, and it was Ahsoka Lives, and then had a question mark. And then on Saturday, he came out with the Star Wars Rebels panel, and then he had an Ahsoka Lives, but it had an exclamation point, and I thought it was pretty funny for him. But anyway, back to the animated Origins. We had there. He apparently he showed a lot of concept art of many of the beginning things from Star Wars: The Clone Wars, but also a lot of things from Rebels, where he showed us like beginning things for the Bendu. I thought, or at least I would have very much liked to have seen everything. I know they kind of fixed that later on with the later panels. I think in Friday and into Saturday, and even today when they would tell you that they have a picture to show, the live stream would get it. But just on Thursday, those first panels, or at least that first panel of the animated Origins, we didn't get a lot. The live stream didn't get a lot of the concept art, and it was a very good panel about telling us how things came about, what he felt like, the fact that like pretty much nobody liked Ahsoka in like season 1 of Clone Wars, and just how she got so much better after that, and how, you know, you give people, if you give us good storytelling, even though you start off on a rocky spot with a certain character, or even a certain storyline of a character, if you give it like your passion, if you give us good storytelling, then the fans will come around to it. We obviously came around to Ahsoka Tano. Hopefully she's still alive, but I thought that panel was pretty cool. For the rest of Thursday, they just had like on their live stream, because I was just watching the live stream kind of all day, and they had a bunch of people. Harrison Ford came out. They have a stage, I guess, in Star Wars Celebration on the floor, and it has like the interior of the Millennium Falcon, and you would have your guests come out. And I like that George Lucas like stayed around for Thursday. I like that Harrison Ford stayed around for Tuesday, got in some interviews, and it was really cool. I did enjoy that Hayden Christensen was there. I mean, all weekend apparently he was signing autographs and taking pictures all weekend, and it was pretty cool. But that's pretty much it for Thursday. There was the main things were the 40th anniversary, and then you had I think you had what they called it, small talk with Warwick Davis, and then you had the animated Origins panel. Almost forgot. Also on Thursday, which was very cool, we had Ian McDiarmid have his own kind of panel, and Warwick Davis had moderated that panel, and it was just so cool to see Ian McDiarmid, the Emperor himself. I've only ever seen him in one other movie that was not a Star Wars movie, but it was amazing to have the Emperor himself. He didn't remember a lot of his lines, but that was cool because the audience kept on, asking him, if I tell you that the Senate will decide your fate, what would you say to that? And I was like, oh, I am the Senate, but he didn't know some of his lines, and it was very cool to, it was very, it's very weird because Ian McDiarmid is like one of the few characters who was in the original trilogy and in the prequels, and obviously he was the best thing about the prequels. So just to have him talk, and he kind of like took some jabs at George Lucas and his whole his directing, you know, how like the way that he directed, and it was just fun. It was all in good fun, obviously, and it was so cool to have him. But also, they had a prepared to be mauled panel, which is Ray Park. Man, that dude is cool. He comes to. It seems like he comes to all. He goes to all the celebration. It's just super fun to see him, like, because he loves to show off, and I like that about him. It's like, you know, if I knew all the martial arts and if I was as good, if I was Maul, I would totally be like, "Yo, anybody got a double bladed lightsaber? I can twirl around here on stage." I would just love that. He is always cool. I love the energy he brings. And since he knows martial arts, he just tends to like show off, and it just looks so cool. And he gets into it. He loves the fans, and yeah. So I didn't want to forget those two panels that didn't happen on Thursday. So getting on to Friday, it's so smart that Star Wars and Lucasfilm put the Last Jedi panel first. I mean, first off in the day, we get the Last Jedi panel, and it was so amazing. Oh, I want to get to the trailer, but I have to hold off for the trailer. The poster, man. That poster, I'll put it up there, but that poster is amazing. Absolutely amazing. That is like old school Star Wars poster where you have, you know, it looks painted. I mean, it's probably photoshopped, but the poster looks amazing. If it was painted though, if that was like, oh, I would love to see like an old school painting of that trailer or that poster. But man, that poster is so amazing. One thing that has put to bed the whole theory of Rey being a Skywalker, at least a descendant of Luke Skywalker, is at one point in the panel you had Mark Hamill and Daisy Ridley out on there, and Mark Hamill talked about Rey, his duh, and he said, you know, the beginning of daughter, he said duh, and then he changed it to colleague. And so to me that puts to bed the theory that, or the speculation that Rey is Luke's daughter. Now granddaughter, I don't think that's gonna happen. Just don't. But yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. I would have loved for Rey to have been his daughter, but not. She's probably not a Kenobi either. It seems like it's getting more and more to that space where she's just Rey. And nothing with Snoke either. We didn't get Andy Serkis, but we did get Finn. And one of the things that John Boyega said was that in this one, in The Last Jedi, Finn is not messing around anymore. And Oscar Isaacs couldn't be there, so we didn't really get much from his character. But we got a new character. Her name is Rose. Yes, Rose. And I hear people saying that she's going to be the love interest for Finn. I don't know. I mean, you know, he was in sanitation on the Death Star 3.0, I guess you would call it, Starkiller Base, and she is a maintenance person for the rebellion. So, you know, come from the same line of work. Maybe there's a connect. Maybe there's a love interest possibility there. I wouldn't mind it. It doesn't matter to me. But the trailer. Let's get to the trailer. The trailer was amazing. The trailer was gorgeous, dude. Everything. We get everything and we literally get nothing, but we get so much in that trailer, and it's so good. Star Wars has done an amazing job of putting this trailer out, and this is like that first trailer for The Force Awakens, where you have no idea what is going on in this trailer, but when you watch the movie, you're like, oh, okay, this is that, this is this, and this is this. You know what I'm saying? You can, once you watch the movie, it's like, oh, that trailer gave us so much, but it didn't give us a lot because we don't know. It's a trailer and it's giving us a lot, but it's not giving us a lot, which is so good. I think that Lucasfilm does an amazing job with their trailers, that they give you a lot, but it doesn't seem like a lot. It doesn't seem like they're giving you as much as they are, but they are giving you a lot. And I bet you once we watch this movie, they'll be like, wow. We'll look back on this trailer and we'll be like, man, they gave us a lot. But this trailer was so amazing. There were so many great shots. The Karate Kid one where she's, it's like a panned back shot and you just see Luke looking at her and she's just doing her forms. I don't hope, but it would be cool if like Luke was teaching her form 1 or form 2. I think there's 7 forms, but like there's 7 forms of lightsaber fighting. That would be awesome if they mentioned some like a form, like form 1. This is the easiest one. Here, try this. You know what I'm saying? That shot was amazing. The beginning in my trailer, I have a trailer reaction up. Go see that. Shameless plug. Anyway. In my trailer reaction, when it first opened up, I was like, stars? And then I thought it was like hills. I was like, hills? And then it was a rock. And I was like, wow, that's simple. Okay. But man, in this trailer, Rey looks like she's not going to be as excited with Luke as she was in episode 7. And I like that. And in the panel, Daisy Ridley herself said, sometimes, you meet your hero and they're not all, cracked up to be who you thought they were. And I think that's giving us something on the movie. And it looks like in this trailer that, Luke does not see eye to eye with Rey, or Rey is not going to see eye to eye with Luke. Like Luke wants the Jedi gone, which is weird because he wanted to be a Jedi for so long. Why would he want them gone? But I understand. Maybe we're just moving away from the whole Jedi and Sith. I would hate to move away from the Sith, but it's just a name, I guess. And so maybe we'll just have, there's no Jedi, no Sith. They're just the light and the dark. That would be cool with me, but I like the name Sith. If Kylo Ren, if Kylo Ren wants to be a Sith, I feel like Snoke should not hold him back. I know that Snoke is probably like, no more rule of 2, man, that doesn't work for us. But it kind of did. I mean, you guys took over the galaxy. Like, come on. Anyway, there's just so much. We get one shot of Kylo Ren. We get Finn. We get none of Finn being conscious. He's just unconscious for the couple. I think we see like one shot in the trailer with Finn, and he's unconscious. So we don't get to see Finn doing anything. Poe Dameron's X-Wing gets blown up again. When Poe's not in an X-Wing, it's fine. He's the best pilot in the Resistance. Probably the best pilot I think we've ever seen on screen, big or little. I mean, dude, that scene from episode 7. Anyway, his X-Wing gets blown up. It looks like the First Order is like, dude, y'all blew up our planet, so we're coming after you. It looks like Snoke is telling his people, we got to take them out. We got to take them out now because the galaxy is in chaos. Well, that's one of the things that Rian Johnson said, was that the galaxy is in chaos. And it looks like it. It looks like, the rebels do not have the backing of anybody, it seems like. I mean, they probably have the backing of, they have their own people, but in episode 7, we get that when Starkiller Base blows up the Hosnian system, it blows up their fleet too, the New Republic's fleet. So the Resistance are by themselves pretty much, and it looks like they're losing ships left and right. So I would love for Poe to get into another X-Wing and have another scene like he did in episode 7, but we just gotta wait and see. That trailer gave us so much. Finally we got Luke speaking. We got, there were, when you see Kylo Ren's destroyed helmet, you get one breath from Vader in the audio. You get some lines. I think you get the surround us from Yoda from Empire Strikes Back. I think you get an Obi-Wan. I don't quite know what he says, but there's at one point there's Obi-Wan and there is some of her or his dialogue is in the trailer. But man, this trailer gave us so much, yet because we don't know what's going to happen, it doesn't feel like, man, it literally feels like I have no idea what's going to happen. But I bet you they gave us so much without giving us a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's like giving you a lot of pieces to the puzzle, but not enough to figure out what the picture is. Oh, almost forgot. On Friday, also, there was Mark Hamill's panel, his tribute, I guess, his tribute to Carrie Fisher. And it was like a good hour long or 45 minutes long of his panel. And it was very cool. He had a bunch of stories. He had some some really good stories of him and Carrie's relationship. And it was just so, it was so unfortunate, that it's so unfortunate that she died, but it was a good panel. He had guests come out like Warwick Davis, and it was very heartfelt. I felt like it was very necessary, and he did an amazing job of doing it. There was one part where he's reading something that I believe she said to him, and like he could barely keep together. My eyes started tearing up because we'd spent so much time with Carrie Fisher. That original trilogy is just, it's like she's just such an amazing character, and she plays such an amazing role in the Star Wars universe. And I'm just very glad that Mark Hamill got to do this. If Harrison Ford would have been at that panel, that would have been, I think, like, oh man, I don't know if I'd have kept it together anyway. But that was one thing I didn't want to forget. We did have a very good panel from Mark Hamill on his tribute to Carrie Fisher. So Saturday, we got a couple of things that I'm very excited for. One of them is the panel that EA was at. The EA, I guess, games panel you would call it. And we got Battlefront 2. We had the teaser. There was a teaser, about a 30-second teaser that was leaked, and it was all over the internet for the past week, and I watched that. Didn't do a trailer reaction to it because it was only 30 seconds. And I figured that they would put out a full trailer, which they did, and I did a trailer reaction. Another shameless plug. Get that. Yeah. So yeah, we got a Battlefront 2 trailer. It looks good. I watched the entire panel. They did not address any of the flaws that were not related to the game not having a single player. Other than the game having a single player, they didn't address any of the things that I would have liked to have been addressed. But I understand that, like, people at Star Wars Celebration don't care about game mechanics and cooldown effects and the fact that you can get unlimited grenades and grenade launchers. I get that they don't care. So they got to the really big things, like you can customize your character, you can upgrade your character, which is something that brings me to a very important point. I do not want it to be pay to win. Please, EA, I know you're not going to watch this video, but you should, because please do not have it pay to win. If I play the game, let's say for 30 hours, okay? And that's not a long time. If I play the game for 30 hours over the entire lifespan of Battlefront 2, and by lifespan I mean from when it comes out to when they release Battlefront 3. That's what I mean. If I play only 30 hours, and think about that, for like 2 years, that's not a lot of time. If I only play 30 hours, and I play, and I'm good. Let's just say I play for 30 hours and I'm good, and I get myself upgraded. If some bum who's played for an hour and then, paid 20 extra bucks or 30 extra bucks gets to have everything fully upgraded to where I have no chance of beating this guy in a gunfight or any way, that's not cool, man. If it's pay to win, if there's like DLC, if there's DLC that's not extra maps, and please EA, don't jib us by giving us literally 4 maps and then saying, you know what, we had 20 ready, but we're gonna make you pay for the other 16. You know what I'm saying? EA, please don't do that. Anyway, if it is pay to win as far as they said you can upgrade your characters, your guns, your classes. If it is pay to win, I'm not going to buy it. As of right now, I'm very excited for the game, but I will not buy it until I figure out if the game mechanics that I don't agree with in the first Battlefront are dealt with, or if it is pay to win. If it is pay to win, I will not buy Battlefront 2. So please do not do it pay to win, and please don't make me pay twice the amount of money just to get the maps that you had made already. Also on Saturday, we got the Star Wars Rebels Season 4 panel. Big thing coming out of this Star Wars Season 4 was not the trailer. For me, big thing was that Star Wars Rebels Season 4 will be the last season for Star Wars Rebels. That's big for me because, by golly, I want something new. I want something different, and I do not want these animated shorts, these one-shot animated shorts. I get it; those are great. But if this is gonna be your last season, they didn't announce any other things other than those animated shorts, those 2D animated shorts, which as of right now, I don't really care about. I mean, I'll wait until my sister watches them, and if she says they're awesome, which she probably will, then I'll watch them. But since this is the end of Season 4 of Rebels, or this is the end of Rebels as we know it, I would have liked to have heard in another announcement. Dave Filoni is no longer the showrunner, I don't believe, for Star Wars Rebels. I could be wrong. Please don't crucify me if I am, but I don't think he's I don't think he's the showrunner anymore. But man, I would have liked to have seen something else. What we got from Star Wars Rebels, what we got, I'm very happy with. I'm very happy that you have a beginning of Star Wars Rebels and an end, and I'm not complaining about oh, I want something more. I get we have a lot. There's a lot of books and everything coming out, but I would have just liked to have seen what's next. What's next for our 3D CG animation. But we didn't get that, so I'm not gonna go cry myself to sleep over that. But the trailer for Star Wars Rebels Season 4 was pretty good. The one thing I do feel like is for a third of the trailer, a good third of it we got, or maybe a fourth of it. Anyway, we got quite a bit. A good amount of the trailer was Season 3 stuff. I know that you had the Hera narration over, voiceover of the footage of the stuff that happened in Season 3, but I feel like they kind of jibbed us. I feel like in the past, when we get a trailer for a brand new season, we get the first trailer for the season, because usually they have a trailer for the first half of the season, and then halfway through they'll have their hiatus for the whatever they do for holidays or whatever, and then they'll have a trailer for that second half of the season. I feel like this trailer is one of the weakest trailers I've seen for any season of Rebels, and it's just showing us stuff from Season 3 just felt like, what, we don't want to show you a lot, we'll show you just enough. I feel like what we got, though, is probably all from that first half of Season 4 Rebels, which is fine, because, everybody knows the second half of the Rebels, the seasons of Rebels, are the better halves, and that's cool with me. I don't mind, going through a half of Rebels, and, things are not happening as fast as they would, because I know in the second season, or the second half of the seasons, we'll be fine. That's where we get our meat. That's where we get our meat and potatoes. That's where we get our lightsaber battles, and I think it's cool. But just this trailer did not get me overly excited for the next season. I am excited just because I have invested, as much time as I could with our characters from Rebels, and I've even read the book A New Dawn, which is kind of like a prequel, not a prequel to it, but it's a precursor to it, where we have Hera, the story of how Hera and Kanan kind of got together. Yeah. So I wish the trailer would have been a little bit better, but it's fine. It's probably a trailer for the first half of Season 4, which I get, I understand. I'm still excited for it. Well, there you go. There's my thoughts on Star Wars Celebration Weekend. I know this is coming out on Monday, and it's called Star Wars Sunday, but hey, Star Wars was still going on Sunday. At least Celebration was. A couple of things happened on Sunday. You know, the Hamill himself panel, a couple other panels, I believe, and yeah, nothing really that I found, you know, that I wanted to talk about that happened on Sunday. So I'm gonna end the video right here. If you're still watching this, why are you still here? I feel like nobody's gonna like watch a 35 minute long video. If you're still watching this, way to go, man. Way to go. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Every Sunday I put up a new Star Wars video. This one coming on Monday, but you know, next Sunday there will be a new Star Wars video up. Probably reviewing the Thrawn book. Maybe I think I'm gonna do the Thrawn book. I'm reading it right now. You know, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Anyway, so be on the lookout for that. Subscribe, like I said, to get notified every time I put up a new video. And comment down below, because I want to know what you thought about this Star Wars celebration and what we got throughout the entire weekend. And thank you for watching this video.